Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
When we talk about heartbreak firsthand, you know what the pain is.
Yes.
And right now, it might be very hard to even talk about it to another person or explain to another person that is going through it. But firsthand, you know the pain, the depth of the pain, and the impact that it has, not only on you, but even your children, your finances, your friendships, literally everything that is around you. Because when your emotions are destabilized, everything around you is destabilized and it's in a state of chaos. So the chaos does not just reside inside of you, the chaos is manifested on top. And I remember at a time when I was going through the same phase, I would go to church. I refused to go to my church where I used to go. I went to a new place where they didn't know me. But half the time I would look at people and just don't understand what everyone is doing. Like I was in my own bubble, moving with my own world to every place, that even when you go to a happy place, whether it's a party, you have come with your own briefcase of pain and anger and resentment. So you look at everyone and you're falling apart. And sometimes I would even make dates to go back and cry. I would be like, you know what, let me just leave this place. I just go back to my car room. I just sit on the floor, and I would even figure out everything. I sit on the floor and then I cry my heart out. And I felt like maybe crying would help, because holding it together all the time and pretending I was fine was very hard while I was out there. So while we talk about that chaos, what exactly do you feel you want to do or you want to attain?
I want to work. I want to be able to be stable financially, because along the way I realized that the only way you can really stand is when you're stable in your finances. These other things can be figured out later.
Okay.
The opportunities are there, they are presenting, but I don't know how to go about them, because I feel I'm still in that position. Yes. Outside, everything seems organized.
When someone looks at you.
Yes.
But inside, you
deep
know you're falling
inside,
apart.
I still feel I haven't yet, I don't have the confidence to take on those opportunities, however much I'm taking them on, but to execute and deliver to how people expect me. Because surprisingly, many people think I can do a lot. But I've not yet seen it. And I want to see it, because I know bigger things are coming. So I want to be ready.
I love that hope.
Yes.
You know bigger things
Yes.
are coming. So that means we have hope that everything is going to be okay. But when you say you want to work, that means you feel you don't have a sense of focus. You don't have a sense of managing your time. You don't have a sense of excitement to go after the new opportunities. And that can only tell us one thing, that you feel numb. And like, you know how you stand in one place when someone shocks you and you can't run, and you stand in one place, and you know what the right direction would be.
Yes.
You know that I'm supposed to take this direction. But even taking an action to go away from the place where you are is very hard. Not that you don't know what to do, but it is hard for you to take a step from where you are. What kind of work do you do on a daily? I just want you to describe the kind of work that you do.
Yes, on a daily, I'm always at NASA Road. I'm into printing, branding, and graphics. And many times I also bake when I get the orders. Yes, so those are the two things that I actively do right now.
So that means when you sit in your space, work comes.
Yes.
So when it comes, do you do that work?
Yes, I do the work.
Okay. But what you don't have is the fighting spirit, the go-getter spirit of you were promoting yourself vigorously, but right now you're not doing that to get in new clients or new business. But when something falls through and it comes through, you do it so you can get the daily food and keep going. Is that what you mean? Okay, so that means what you want to do is, how do I grow from where I am?
Yeah.
Because you can't stay in the same place
No.
forever. You can't get the same money forever. The economy is changing, prices are changing, school fees is changing,
Yes.
and everything is changing. So you're saying by you staying in the same place, that means you're going to fail to manage your life. That means you need to be able to take a step and actually grow. So let's talk about your emotions, because that is where the issue is right now. The issue is not in, because when your emotions are stabilized, that means you can be able to go out and do these things. So that means the inward job is for you to get to a place to go, because you've gone from the sadness and you're still in the sadness bit, and you have added so many things in one place. That is why the confusion is, because the curve is supposed to be progressive, that you're shocked by the news, and then you go through the ambivalence, should I stay, should I go? But he helped you, he made a decision. So, and I will say he helped you. He made the decision to take himself out, because forever he was going to be a thorn in your flesh, because then you would stay in the constant state of oscillation of, am I married, am I not married? Is he going, is he not going? You've been in that state before, where you're giving yourself hope one day, and then when he goes for a week, then you're angry. Did that happen? And how did you handle it?
Of course, you'd be sad.
You'd stick around, just stay around.
Just leave. Yeah, just leave.
So when he leaves to go for the week, the other side?
I made myself busy.
But again, you got into a settlement of some sort of, he's still around. So when he made the move, because you couldn't make the move, for all that time, you were still giving yourself hope.
No, actually, what made me stay, I'm like, what am I going to do with the kids right now?
Yeah.
Because I was not financially independent since we were working together. So knowing that he had the biggest input in the company left me at a point where immediately I wouldn't just leave.
Yeah.
Because
you needed to survive.
What my mom told me was, you cannot just expose your kids like that.
They were used to a different kind of lifestyle.
Stabilize yourself, yes. If this person is still providing, let him do. But try to grow yourself. Stop minding him. Of course, it's hard, but with time, I learned
to ignore him.
Yes, I learned to ignore. So I focused on bettering myself. I'm like, okay, now what do I love to do? I did not close down the office at Nasa Road. However much things were very hard at that time.
And that is a strength.
Yes, we had to pay up COVID debt, and that's the time when he withdrew. So like, how am I making this place stand? And at around the same time, I had just given birth. So I'm like, okay, now I have to pull myself together.
Let me understand. When you gave birth, did you have any hope of, now that we have another child, everything is going to be okay? Because I've found that so many ladies go through that.
No, actually, for me, having the child was not even for him.
Okay.
It came at the point, since I'd planned that around this time,
I'll have
because my kids have a certain spacing. So me, I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead. Since I expect everything to get worse, I'm like, let me have
just
my
go
child.
ahead and get done with this.
So that whether he lives or not, I have the kids that I wanted to have.
I like you.
So
that's so you made that decision,
yes, it
not
was
because
me.
of him,
No,
but because of you.
No.
You are stronger than you think you are.
Yes, so I'm like, let me go ahead with my plan. Because
With or without him?
yes, this year
I'll
I
still go
wanted
on.
to have a baby, so let me go ahead. So,
Okay.
but
So he goes through, you know, the withdrawal and all that. But where I was bringing you was at the stage where he withdrew. If he had not withdrawn totally and just moved on, would you have stayed with him this long? In the same situation of having a week the other side, a week your side,
I think I would have been more sad right now.
you would have been more sad. And I would agree with you.
Yes.
Because staying in a state of confusion for so long even numbs you more. Right now, you are going through sadness, yes, but that sadness, at least you can see there is a flicker of hope. That once I get through this emotion, once I come to a place of acceptance, of course, that is what you will not tell yourself that, but once you come to a place of acceptance, because you went through the denial, and the denial phase elapsed, you're no longer in denial. After denial, you went into anger, and you were so angry and frustrated about what had happened and how you didn't see it coming. And you go into bargaining. You bargain with yourself. You know, what could I have done better? What could I have changed? And you know, that is when you scrutinize everything in a relationship. You scrutinize your ex, you scrutinize the moments that you had together, what went wrong, why didn't I see this coming? So you scrutinize all that, and what follows, which is the longest, the sadness and the numbness. Because your emotions, your feelings, it feels like you're not making headway. It feels like you're standing in the same position. It feels like, and sometimes you even feel like the world is looking at you and they're looking at a mad person. Because half the time, that's how you feel you are inside of you. So you said that you would have been sad, even more sad, if you were with him. And you believe that.
Yeah.
Because that is a huge stepping stone to your healing. Knowing that if someone puts an arrow into my flesh, okay, me staying and limping with that arrow for the rest of my life is more painful than when I pull out that arrow from my flesh and then I treat the wound. Because what you're going through right now is the self-treatment, to administer medicine because you pulled out the arrow. You accepted this is a gone case. And now you are treating the wound. But wounds heal, right? And that is the hope that we have, that wounds heal. The wound is not going to stay open for the rest of its life. But when the arrow stays in the body, you rot. Because you cannot administer medicine while the arrow is still in your body, in your flesh. It will rot. And then they will have to amputate the leg. And that is where the amputation in this case looks like depression. Depression that leads to illness, real illness, because depression alone is also is illness, but people become mad. I have seen people that have gone through breakups and they have lifted their skirts and they've been held together, they've been taken to, admitted, and they've gone on treatment, and some of them have not come back. They have not healed. Why? Because the arrow stayed in the flesh. They refused to admit and accept, still stayed in denial, and now administering help is giving them medicine, but medicine that does not treat the heart and the emotions. So some people are stronger than others, that they can go through the phases clearly and go through the other side. God helps them. And some people are not that privileged, that they process pain differently and they feel the intensity of pain. So what happens is they stay stuck in so many phases for so long, and that's why they need help. That's why we have therapists. That's why we have people to talk to. That's why you have your mother that you will actually talk to her and you feel like, I have cried enough and I have, spoken my heart. And you feel like, okay, Kale, there is a bit of, relief because I have talked to someone. That's where support system is very important in our lives. Just like you said, you disturbed your best friend and your mother. And I would thank them so much because they were your support system in getting to where you are right now. However, where you are right now, the support system can help but cannot do much. That means that it's you to be able to take yourself out of this pit. I can say 1,000 words, okay? And a million words. But you need to want your freedom more than you desire to sit where you are. Because then that is going to help you grow. You know how you've gone for Hold My Hand, how you've gone for mentorship. That is you trying to get yourself out of the ditch. Now, that does not mean that it's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. This can even last for a full year while you are processing yourself out of the ditch. The only thing that I am thankful for about this process is once you go through it, there are no chances of you relapsing. Once you go through it properly. So you've gone through, you usually come for Hold My Hand, you go for the mentorship. Now you know that I'm supposed to be speaking into other people's lives. However, you could be asking yourself, how do I speak into other people's lives when I have issues to handle? Doctors treat people even when themselves have ailments. You being a people helper does not demand that you must be perfect in order to help, because there is no perfection in anyone. Even the people that we look at as they have it all together and they are perfect, they also have failures somewhere in their lives. And they are also on the journey of growth because it never stops. So the journey of growth includes healing. The journey of growth includes recovery. The journey of growth includes you being truthful to yourself and saying that, you know what? Yes, I am wounded, but I am owning my healing. But while I heal, I'm not going to shut up and I'm not going to tie up my hands and just sit in one place. I might as well find my purpose and my passion, and I might as well be out there. Because as you listen to other people's issues, you are going to draw more strength. Has that happened to you?
Yes, actually, the time when all that happened, I did not keep quiet. However much tradition demanded that you keep your family issues, but me, I talked.
Okay.
Yes, when Paul would ask what
You're
happened,
rebellious.
what happened.
I love
No,
that. I
as
love
in,
that about you.
people ask, why is so and so? Where is I'm like, he left. So, I found that actually people would come to me because they were wondering, how are you even still standing?
I know.
And you're
Like
like,
someone
okay.
comes to you, asks you, where is he? And you're like, he left.
Yes, he left. He's not
So
around.
you quickened your healing.
Yeah,
because most people when they say, he's here and here, he's here, so you're covering up. So when they find out, they look at you and like, she's a liar. She's
lying,
pretending.
You're lying. The guy loved you. I'm like, yeah, he did, but he's not there. He's not there. So
and some of you will be insensitive to ask you why.
You're the bad person. You must have done something. That guy loved you too much. There's something you did. I'm like, if that's what you think, me, I know I'm clear.
People should learn to mind their business.
Yes. Of course, society, African tradition always blames
you
the
can't
woman.
Expect any different.
They blame the woman.
Yeah.
They always think there's something wrong, there's something bad. But of course, I've spoken to many people through that same, because me, I was open with it. I'm like, of course, me, I love relationships. And if someone asked me if I would get married, yes.
You'll get
married. I would, yes. So, I've like relationships, I love them. If this one hasn't gone the way I expected it, well and good. But that can't stop me from talking to people
about relationships.
Yes, because people have always asked me. People have always asked me from way back, because
so you have always been a people helper.
Yes, because we were a role model. I should say we were a role model. So when that happened, that would not just come to a standstill.
Yeah, people kept coming to you.
Yes, people still keep coming, but just to show them this other side, so they know that even that can happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has happened,
Yes.
and I'm not going to explain anymore to
Yes.
you. It has happened. It has happened. So let's come to. Do you sometimes feel like you have like a memory loss? Like you plan on something and then it just skips your mind? Because when you're going through sadness and numbness, you tend to forget a lot, to be very forgetful. And even when you plan to do something, sometimes it's not even about the numbness and forgetfulness, but you procrastinate a lot. You push it into tomorrow. You're like, I will do it tomorrow. Like you just feel lazy. The whole of you feels too lazy to even accomplish some of the things that you have set to accomplish. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah. I've gone out of most of my normal programs
Okay.
because honestly, I used to be a workout person in the morning, but I take months without even doing a single workout.
Okay. Do
You're
you
like,
journal?
no, not really.
You don't.
No,
Is it a habit you can cultivate?
I wanted to do it, but again, you just
Don't do it
don't.
intentionally as journaling. Okay. Start off as writing reminders for yourself. Because the biggest thing that is going to get you out of this ditch is you keeping your own promise. If he did not keep his promise to being in your life and you felt let down, the best place for you to begin is by trying to keep your own promises, not making ambiguous and big promises, but the small daily promises, because those are the habits that get you out of the ditch. So even if you don't buy a real journal and you have a notebook and you remind yourself, it's very possible that you'll get to a time of activating that particular activity and maybe you'll procrastinate, but having it out of your head and writing it down and looking at it and having an activity list for the day, and you make sure that you limit it, you don't put it to many things. Put a few things, just a few things that are really important, very crucial. Don't write a list of 10. Write a list of 3 or 4 and say, okay, for as long as I have achieved this, everything else is bonus. Because then you will find that if you hit your target of the first 3 things, then the other bonuses, you can go through them very quickly. Because what that gives you, what you said, is the lack of confidence to go at life, the lack of confidence to chase, the lack of confidence. It's not that you are not confident. Internally, you have the confidence, but the resilience to keep bouncing back, because what happens right now is you fall multiple times. Like you keep falling. Today you feel better, tomorrow you feel worse. The other day, like your life is on a fluctuation. So it feels like you have to pick yourself every time. Every time you wake up and it's a new day, you're like, oh God, it has started again. So, so that means when you start and you're like, you know what, whether I want it or not, because you have to do the difficult things, because it's the difficult things that are going to get you out. I'll give a real example. When someone falls in the ditch and they're trying to get out, you realize they either have to jump and hold themselves onto something, or they have to kick the wall even when there's someone that is helping them at the top. Otherwise, if someone was just standing as a log and they're helping you to pull them up, they will be too heavy. But when someone is also trying to push themselves, you realize that there's activity going. So that means you have to intentionally carve activity into your life. It's painful that even when you go to the gym and put on and look at others working out, that is a victory, instead of remaining home. So even when you go halfway, the thing that you were supposed to do, but at least you have started on it, count it a joy, instead of saying, you know what, it's so hard, or I'm afraid, I'm not going to do it. Be afraid, but do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because when it comes to focus, when it comes to planning, when it comes to organization, do you think there are people who enjoy being too organized, but some of us do it out of necessity. Some of us do it because then we have to do it. So that means it's a hard thing, but you realize, just like you'd want to clean your home, and you feel so, not for it. But after cleaning it, you feel like you're breathing. You're like, wow, I'm glad I did that, even when it was hard. So that means that you're going to refocus and be able to just pick a few things to do, but important things in your life. And that means that that journey, you don't have to move it alone. You need an accountability partner to be able to remind you, did you do this today? Did you do that? You said you would do this. At the end of the month, you said you would open a bank account. So that means that person is going to nag you, but nag you in order to push you in the right direction. We cannot exhaustively handle this, but I want you to be able to give me a response about doing the hard things, because I know they are the hardest.
The hardest things that...
Are you willing? Because it takes willingness to say, let me even start. Let me write even when I don't feel like writing. Let me wake up even when I don't feel like waking up. So you don't follow your feelings, you follow the things that you have set for yourself. That means you need to set the targets.
Yes, so of course, currently I'm supposed to be pushing my cake business. So that, taking pictures, uploading, and since I'm also a coach, I have to write those continuous inspirations that go on your status and Facebook.
And that's a healing journey for you.
Yes, I'm supposed to get back to writing that. And then also at office, at NASA, of course you always go there because that's the place that provides the biggest income for me currently. So I'm seeing how I'm supposed to do that. And also I got a new opportunity at an NGO where I'm supposed to do PR work. And now that's something I'm going to learn because...
And that's going to keep you occupied.
Yes.
But again, I don't want you to overload your plate. Okay? I don't want you to overload your plate, and then I don't want you to beat yourself up whenever you're not able to fulfill something. Extend some grace to yourself. When your body tells you to rest, rest. When your body tells you, eat, eat. So make sure that you work together with your body, but try and get your body out of the comfort zone, because it loves the comfort zone. Get it out of the comfort zone so that you do what you promise yourself to do, even when it is hard and even when you don't want to do it. And then that's why I say writing will help you, because if you know that now I'm supposed to do this, your mind will remind you, or your paper will remind you, and then you will get on and say, you know what, let me just give myself 20 minutes and write this article. And if the 20 minutes elapse, even if you've not finished, walk away from that article and do something else. Focus on something else, or rest and then focus on something else. So those intervals help you to know that, okay, I'm not going to stay on one thing for the whole of the day. I'm going to do multiple tasks, small tasks, but that contribute. So I want you to be able to draw the goals of where do you want to reach with your coaching practice? Where do you want to reach with your business? Where do you want to reach with your family and your kids? Because then when you are working towards a goal, I usually tell people, chasing a ball when there is no goal to score is tiresome. But when you know that that is the goal, you realize you will put in all your energy and do all the tricks, because you know that is the goalpost. I am supposed to score there. So create the goalpost, know that you're supposed to score there, and then dribble. I don't know if you know, to dribble the ball, that is working on your goals in order to get to the big thing that you want to get. What do you want to achieve at the end of this year? What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to be in 6 months from now? So when you work towards that, I'm telling you that don't be too hard on yourself that, no, I must do this and I must do it today in order to get there. No, do not be too stiff and too rigid. But know that I have a goal in place and I want to hit that goal, come what may. Willingness. Are you willing? I know that this we cannot exhaustively handle this just in one sitting, but we will have episodes, different episodes with Helen where we talk about where she is in life, what she's currently doing. I promise you, and I promise you, Helen, 2 years from now, you're going to be a totally different person from who you are today. And I'm not saying this to make you feel good, but I mean it. That if you continue on the journey that you are on, doing the bare minimum, but requiring more from yourself and demanding more from yourself, this is going to be a compounding effect. That 2 years from now, you're going to look back at what we are talking about right now, and you're going to burst out in laughter, and you're going to say, was that me? Like, what exactly was I thinking? You know, you're going to be in a better life. Your children are going to be much better. Your business is going to grow. You're going to get more support system and create communities. And more than anything, you're going to hold people's hands. So we love you, and we can't wait to hear from you. If you have anything that you're going through, share the story with us on the number 0757 117 117. Share your story. We will have time to sit down, chat with you, free of charge, because when you come to meet me, there's a charge, and it's quite a huge charge. We wouldn't want to burden you with that. But if you want to have this kind of session where we clarify where you are and how you can be able to get unstuck, get in touch with us, and we will have that story with you, and we will be able to break it down and have the solutions that we all desire to have in life. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Bahati comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 p.m. here on Spirit TV. Bahati, bringing you knowledge, wisdom, financial and personal growth, better relationships leading to your transformation and innovation.